Well, hello there again, everyone, and welcome back to another whiskey review. Today's review, Collingwood. This is a Canadian toasted maplewood mellowed, handcrafted blended Canadian whiskey. If you have gotten a chance to take a look at some of my other videos, you would know that this is actually one of my favorite packaging jobs by a whiskey that I have seen thus far. I think it's just a really cool, really sleek bottle. It's kind of got a cologne style to it. Nice little badge there, kind of a tape. And at the top, this top is almost like a matte rubber material, which is also really cool. Pardon my Easter decor. We are a day away, but I figured we haven't done one since Easter, so why not be a little festive? Collingwood, the master distiller of Collingwood is a gentleman by the name of Chris. Oh man, I'm drawing a complete blank. Anyways, the gentleman, the master distiller, it's like Chris Owens or Chris Wilson or something kind of common. They've come up with this method. Typically in a whiskey, you're going to get oak barrels. And with oak barrels, naturally it's going to give the spirit a little bit of a tannic or a little bit of an astringent flavor. Well, sugar maple, because of the unique chemical makeup of the wood, it doesn't have those leathery, astringent, tannic-y, bitter flavors to them. Now, if you're more of a bourbon aficionado than a whiskey aficionado, and you tend to like a little bit of bite or sharp or smoky or leathery flavor, this may not be a good thing for you. Personally, I have a bit of a likeness for a sweeter flavor, so I'm actually really looking forward to trying this. As I like to do, I have never tasted this whiskey today, so this will be a first timer, which will be kind of cool, because like I said, I like to keep it straight from the heart and shoot from the hip when I'm doing these. So let's jump right into this. And today I'm going to also introduce you to a method or a technique or, an additive to a whiskey that is pretty common, and we have yet to discuss it. So I did want to touch upon that, and that is the addition of water. Okay, so as we jump right in here, again, this is my first time seeing this as well. I have a little bit of kind of a tab that wraps around the entirety of the bottle. And in my opinion, nothing says Canadian like a sugar maple mellowed whiskey. It's kind of, I'm hoping, it also has a little bit of a pour. I'm hoping that it has some of the positives that a maple whiskey would have. I guess the natural positives, the natural sweetness, without some of that chemically, artificially flavored, like the Crown Maple and some of the other flavored maple whiskeys. This is, I'm hoping, is going to be more a natural version of that, which could turn out really nice. So, we jump right in. Check out that color. Very standard, I would say. Color profile. Amber, gold. Legs on it are extremely thin. The viscosity is very thick on this, but thin legs. On the nose, I'm getting some of the normal things, some of the citrus, some of the zest, some of the orange. Now, I have to admit to you, most of the time when I do these tastings, I don't do research in terms of, tasting notes that the manufacturer provides. I did this time. And one thing they mentioned was graham crackers on the nose. And you know what, guys? I always give it to you real. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that at all. Not to say it's a bad thing, but I'm getting more of a standard whiskey nose. But I have to admit, though, I am not getting the leathery, the oaky, and the smokiness, which is typical. So that's in line with, I guess, what they're trying to do with this whiskey. All right, let's give this a shot. Wow. I think it's accomplished its mission. Yeah, you're not hit with any of the typical whiskey ruggedness, if you will. It lacks, and that's not a negative thing. For me, it's an absolute positive. It lacks that punch in the face, that bite. But what it lacks in aggressive note, it makes up for, I think, in the finish. A really nice, velvety, extremely warm finish, all through the esophagus, down into the chest. Very, very nice in that capacity. Let me give that one more shot. The in the mouth feel, in my opinion, you get the sugar maple mellowed in the mouth. That's where you're really picking up in the mouth. On the tasting, I don't get it as much. It's more of kind of a moderate, middle of the road taste. Very warm finish, but you get the maple in the mouth. Really nice, really nice. I'll grade here in one quick second. So let's jump into this water that I mentioned. So, you know, I had a sales manager many years ago tell me that, hey, nothing wrong with, you know, picking some guy's pocket. And what he meant by that was, if you see something that somebody does well, you know, don't be afraid to, you know, put that into your own bag of tricks, put that into your arsenal. And, you know, the same goes for whiskey tasting. I've seen some other reviewers dilute whiskey with just a hair of water. And now typically that's reserved for a stronger spirit. This is a, you know, 40%, 80 proof spirit. Typically not something you would use with the water, or you would use water with, I should say. But I'm going to do it just for the sake of demonstration and kind of an explanation on it. But yeah, oftentimes a higher proof rum, a higher proof whiskey, something that's exceeding, you know, 100. You know, sometimes aromas and flavors seem to be, they call it like a locked flavor or a tight flavor. Water can sometimes really bring those aromas, bring those flavors out to life. But I will give it a shot. And what I like to do is, because you don't want to get crazy with the water addition, just a little splash will do a long way. So I'm going to actually use just a spoonful here. And it's funny, you can immediately see the water react with the whiskey. And you kind of see it's almost separating. It's not an oil and water type thing, but almost. And see if this gives it any different personality flavor profile. You know what? It does. It does. I wasn't expecting as much. But it gives it more maple in the mouth. That's interesting. I wouldn't expect that from an 80 proof spirit. But anyways, very, very good. You know, Crown and you know, some other brands, you know, kind of get the publicity and the love in the Canadian whiskey category. Collingwood. The cool thing about them is they also do just this bottling. They don't do a deluxe or a limited or aged. It is what it is. And it's, you know, nicely priced in the $39.99 range. I think I picked this one up for. I tell you what, if you like Canadians, I would recommend to definitely grab a bottle. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Very, very nice whiskey, nicely priced, and yeah, really nice experience overall. So thank you again very much, everyone, for joining me. Please go ahead and click below to subscribe so you can catch all of my new videos. Like I mentioned last time, as summer approaches, we're really going to be hammering into some rums. So if you love rums and you appreciate the differences and the the personality profiles that rums have. Please, please don't miss any of those. They should be fun. And again, many of those I haven't tasted either, so we'll do this adventure together. Thanks again, everyone. Until next time, glasses up.